This is Artworkium.
And welcome to Inventive Legacies, patents that shaped our lives.
Yeah, this is the deep dive where we really get into the stories behind the patents you see in the Artworkium store.
That's right. We look at the actual documents, the drawings, the ideas that started it all.
And honestly, we wanted to put this series together as a kind of extra thank you, for folks who've picked up our digital prints.
It's a way to give you more context, sort of the technical backstory behind that cool blueprint hanging on your wall.
So today, this is a good one. We are tumbling headfirst into the genius of Ernő Rubik.
The Rubik's Cube. Though, interestingly, the patent itself calls it a spatial logical toy.
Sounds very official.
It does, doesn't it? You can find the print for this one in the Toys and Games section of our store.
And if you want to see exactly what we're talking about, especially when we get into the nitty-gritty of the mechanism, those sort of T-shaped bits inside, check the description.
Yeah, there's a link right there. You can pull up the patent print and follow along.
Okay, let's unpack this thing. Where do we start? The official details, I guess.
Right. So the U.S. patent ID we're looking at is 4,378,116.
4378116. Okay. And like I said, the official title is Spatial Logical Toy. Not quite as catchy as Rubik's Cube, but descriptive.
A very fitting description for something that can drive you absolutely mad for hours. Or, decades.
Absolutely. So this patent was issued on March 29, 1983.
83, okay.
But the application was filed a bit earlier, August 81, and crucially, it claims priority based on an earlier Hungarian patent application from October 1980.
So the idea was kicking around in Hungary first. Makes sense.
Exactly. The inventor, of course, is Ernő Rubik from Budapest, Hungary.
A name synonymous with the puzzle.
And the assignee, the company holding the rights at the time, was Palatoy's Ipari Szövetkezet, also based in Budapest.
Okay, so that sets the scene. Hungarian invention, U.S. patent in 83. But you mentioned something interesting before we started. The patent doc calls this an improved form. Yeah, that's right. It explicitly states it's an improvement on a previously known spatial logical toy.
So what does that mean in, plain English? There was already a cube puzzle patent out there.
Sort of. It means there was prior art, basically, existing technology or concepts. In this case, Rubik himself had that earlier Hungarian patent, HUPS number 170062.
Wow.
That earlier version, the prior art referenced, described a cube made of 27 individual small cubes or solids.
27, right? Like a 3x3x3 grid. That makes intuitive sense. 3 layers of 9 cubes.
Precisely. It had a central core structure that these 27 pieces kind of rotated around. You needed all those pieces to make the full cube shape.
Okay, seems logical. So what was the big improvement in this U.S. patent?
Well, this is where it gets really clever.
Yeah.
The improved form described in U.S. 4,378,116, it achieves the exact same external 3x3x3 rotating cube.
Yeah.
But it only uses a total of 18 toy elements.
18. Wait, hang on. 27 down to 18? Where did the other 9 cubes go? Did they just...
Huh. No, not quite poof. They basically became unnecessary. The genius was figuring out how to make the outer and connecting pieces do all the work, eliminating the need for that separate, fixed internal block of pieces.
So it's hollower inside.
In a way, it's built from just 2 sets of 8 identical corner and edge elements, plus 2 special central connecting elements. Those 18 pieces form the entire working structure.
Wow. That's
Wow.
a significant simplification. Removing 9 physical parts but keeping the function, that's real engineering.
It's incredibly efficient design, streamlining the core.
Okay, this is where my brain starts to hurt a little. How did just 18 pieces, basically the shell, right, hold together? And not just hold together, but allow layers to rotate smoothly in 3 different directions. It sounds like it should just fall apart.
It does sound counterintuitive, doesn't it? But the patent explains it. The key was avoiding what it calls separate connecting profile.
Meaning, no little pegs or rods holding things together.
Right. Instead, the connection relies, and I quote, merely on the proper shape of the solids.
So the shapes of the pieces themselves create the connections. They lock into each other.
That's it. The pieces have these specially designed surfaces, the patent calls them cam members, with spherical, convex, or concave shapes. Think curves and hollows that fit perfectly.
Ah, okay. So they sort of nestle together and slide against each other.
Exactly. They create this internal system where the shapes hold everything in place through tension and friction as they move.
I remember seeing those drawings in the patent print link. They're these two pieces right in the middle that look kind of like T-shapes or crosses.
Yes. Elements 7 and 7 prime in the diagrams, those are absolutely crucial.
What do they do? Are they the core?
They form the central axis mechanism, but they aren't fixed like in the older design. They are the tracks, the guide rails, that all the edge and corner pieces slide against. Their specific shape maintains the pathways for rotation and holds the internal tension.
Okay, so the T-pieces are the guides. The shaped edges and corners slide along them. But still, just relying on shape feels potentially wobbly, like a piece could just pop out if you twist it wrong.
That's the other piece of brilliance. They solved the stability problem with ultimate simplicity.
Oh.
The entire assembly, all 18 pieces, is held together and tensioned by one single screw.
No way. Just one?
One single screw. It passes right through the middle of those two central T-shaped elements you mentioned.
Wow.
And there's a spring, element 9A, with the screw. That spring provides the constant tension, pulling those central pieces together just enough.
So the screw and spring pull the T-pieces together, and that tension holds all the outer pieces in their tracks through their shaped surfaces.
You got it. That single screw mechanism turns what could be a loose collection of parts into what the patent calls an indissoluble unity, while still allowing layers of 6 or 9 elements to rotate.
That is just elegant. So simple at its core, literally one screw.
It really is, and the patent notes the function is to stimulate logical thinking activity, particularly in teenagers.
They knew their target audience.
Yeah.
Prone to logical thinking. And maybe a bit of frustration.
Definitely aimed at puzzle solvers. But the mechanical achievement, that robust multi-axis rotation from so few parts, held by one central point of tension, that's the masterpiece.
Beyond the pure mechanics, though, reading through the patent, what did the inventor see as really important for the user experience? What were the big goals?
Well, it talks about manufacturing, how the pieces could be made from synthetic material, maybe even hollow to save plastic, standard stuff. But then it highlights something specific as providing the greatest advantages.
Okay, I'm listening. This sounds like the aha moment.
It discusses making the outer faces of the little cubes with relief-like configurations.
Relief-like, you mean like raised shapes, not just colors?
Exactly. Symbols, figures, letters, textures, raised or indented patterns molded right onto the cube faces.
Okay, why? For decoration?
Not just decoration. The patent explicitly states the purpose. This allows for the creation of a logical toy for blind people that is, quote, absolutely equivalent with the logical toy for those with perfect eyesight.
Whoa. Seriously? They actually called that out in the patent.
Yeah.
For accessibility.
Right there in the text. They envisioned a tactile version from the very beginning, using shapes and textures instead of just colors, so that visually impaired people could solve the puzzle by touch.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That adds a whole different layer to this. It wasn't just about making a clever twisting puzzle. It was about making it universally accessible, at least in concept.
It connects the mechanical ingenuity directly to thoughtful, inclusive design, thinking about how everyone could engage with the logical challenge.
I had absolutely no idea that was part of the original patent's intention. Kind of reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? From just a toy to, well, a tool designed with inclusion in mind.
It definitely adds depth.
Okay, that is genuinely fascinating. So thinking about everything we just covered, we want to know what stood out most to you listening right now. What's the one detail that made you go, huh, I didn't know that?
There were a few big ones, right? Maybe it was the fact that this incredibly complex-seeming cube actually relies on just 18 pieces, not the 27 you might expect from a 3x3x3 structure.
Or maybe it's that central mechanism, the sheer minimalist brilliance of using just one screw and a spring to hold the entire high-tension puzzle together while allowing it to twist every which way.
Or perhaps, like us, you were struck by the foresight shown in the patent itself, the explicit mention of using relief structures to create an equivalent tactile version for blind players that focus on accessibility back then.
Whichever bit surprised you the most, hop onto social media and tell us. We'd love to hear what resonated. And hey, if you enjoyed this, maybe leave a review or subscribe. That way you won't miss the next deep dive.
We really hope breaking down the Spatial Logical Toy patent, US4378116, gave you a new appreciation for what's going on inside that colorful cube.
It's more than just colors, clearly. Thanks so much for joining us today. Thinking about that accessibility point, if Ernő Rubik included the idea of a tactile, accessible version right there in the patent filed way back around 1980, makes you wonder why it took decades for that kind of inclusive design thinking to become more mainstream for all kinds of toys and products, doesn't it? Something to chew on.
Definitely something to think about. Join us next time as we unpack another iconic patent print from the Artworkium collection.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.